tonight. Gotta give your friend a little man, and everything gonna be alright. Hooray, hooray, this woman is killing me. Hooray, hooray, this woman is killing me. Well, if you don't believe, just wait right here and see. Well, we'll start at the midnight rock to the break of dawn. Well, we'll start at the midnight rock to the break of dawn. Well, you can't keep cool, lady, cause I'm gonna keep you warm. Hooray, hooray, this woman is killing me. Hooray, hooray, this woman is killing me. If you don't believe, just wait right here and see. Baby, 5 o'clock now, what you gonna do? Baby, 5 o'clock now, what you gonna do? She said, I don't care if it's saying, man, I'll leave it up to you. Hooray, hooray, this woman is killing me. Hooray, hooray, this woman is killing me. Well, if you don't believe, just wait right here and see. Lock this door, wanna throw this key away. That's what I'm gonna do, babe. I'm gonna lock this door, wanna throw this key away. Baby, I ain't going home, I'll stay right here all day. Hooray, hooray, this woman is killing me. Hooray, hooray, this woman is killing me. Well, if you don't believe, just wait right.
All right, folks. Hello, hello, and welcome to the live stream number 3. This is becoming more and more fun, and we're gonna have some great time today. We have a great show that will consist of same modules as last time. So basically, the main thing we're going to talk about today is the G7th Capos, or Capos as they say in Britain. And I'm going to tell you a little story about Bill Broonzy and why he's significant for, let's say, my slide playing. Right? Very, very important. But basically, just stay with us for this hour. It's going to be fun. And I hope you're going to like it. I see already some people here. That's great. We're going to start anyway. And we'll see how many will come to see us live. The first song that I'm going to start with is a welcome song, as usual. If I can say as usual after these only 2, this is the third stream. So, it's going to be Bye Bye Blues by Tommy Johnson. Nothing by, let's say, Bill Broonzy or somebody else that we're going to talk about today. But just like to kick it off with some of my favorites, I will always play one of the favorite songs in the beginning. Good. And that will also help me to relax a little bit. Hello, Tommy. Hello, Eric. Hello, Notion Dad, William Hall. It's nice to see you here as well. Eunice, I appreciate you and you're coming each time. Gare as well. Got some people from the States. Milovan, people from Norway. I'm in Sweden. Eunice, Sweden. William in the UK. Fresh E, Gothenburg, Sweden. And Tommy from Gothenburg, or just outside of Gothenburg. So let's do the song. It's called Bye Bye Blues by Tommy Johnson. All right. me by and by. Bye-bye now, baby. Lord, I want you by and by. Bye-bye. Lord, I want you by and by. Good book tell you, read you what you saw. Good book now tell you, Lord, I read you what you saw. Don't read it now, Lord, I want you by and by. Read it by and by. Gone away now, baby, and I won't be back to fall. I'm going away now, baby, Lord, I won't be back at all. I'm leaving my baby, Lord, I won't be back at all. Bye-bye, Lord, I want you by and by. Bye-bye Blues, Tommy Johnson. This song is from 1928, if I remember well. Hey, I changed the strings. So it's one of the first things I want to talk about because I had some questions about how often do you change strings and which strings are you using. So often, as seldom as I can, which means I can go with the same set for 6, 7, 8 months if necessary because I love the sound of old strings. I don't like them when they're totally fresh, like now. So I've made a little project for you now. I raised my nails, I let them grow, I changed the strings. So here's the sound of strings when you play with a nail and when they're fresh. The reason why these strings are not so bright and so new sounding is because they are already a bit treated and they are phosphor bronze strings. If I used bronze strings, they would definitely sound much brighter. But usually I play with this part of my thumb. I don't use my nail so much, but I like to have it ready. So let's say 2 or 3 millimeter long nail and butt picking from the side. And this is important for the artist in focus today because I'm going to talk about Broonzy and his way of playing the finger picking and how he held the rhythm with his right hand, playing very much from the side. If I would maybe angle the thumb a little bit inwards like this, then I would get this nail edgy sound, but for the most of the time I'm having this sound of a flash, right? So I don't change strings very often. That's the thing. But there is one little specialty when I change the strings. Why they settle very fast, and sometimes I can even change the strings 1 hour before I'm about to play. And this is what happens. So I have this special system. I call it mine, maybe it isn't, I don't know, but it's definitely not the way Michael Sandén, who made this guitar, delivers the guitar with. This is a way to lock the strings in this kind of coarse positioning while I'm winding the strings. So I put them, and if you see where the strings are angling, so the first bass string, which is no, that one. So the first bass string is almost straight compared to where the string is on the neck, right? The fifth string, A string, is just a little bit angled, and the D string, the fourth and the third strings are angled as little as possible because I let them finish, and the winding is going very close to that angle that I want them to. But each string is set with this kind of cross pattern that I always lock them. It doesn't matter if it's basses or if it's treble strings, and I don't have like, I don't know, 20 turns on the first string and the second string just because they're unwounded, and people are usually scared like, oh, maybe they'll just, lose the tuning and all that. So no, if you just lock them this way, they're gonna work. I don't know, maybe it's a good way, maybe it's not. And this guitar has the open peg head, which means that you don't, usually you have the peg heads sticking out up here. So I don't know, that's the way I do it. Good, we come to the first session of the backup. And I'm going to play the slow blues in E, which is going to be, let's say, you can sing in the back of your head, Big Bill Broonzy's It Was a Dream, just a dream I had on my mind. So I'm just going to play the backup instrumental part of that. Maybe I'll tell a little story about that song when we talk about the artist in focus for today. But let's go. So the backup, E, standard tuning. Let's roll. now you could hear the squeaking from the new strings when we move the fingers. So it's something that can be avoided by not gliding too much on the strings, but just grabbing, let's say, so that's less squeaking than to play. And similar. So it means grab the chord, release it a little bit, then don't touch the strings, dampen on this side, move it to the next chord, dampen, back, and then play here. Yeah, a lot to think about, but sometimes when I'm annoyed by the sound of new strings, that's what I do. Good. Next one, next backup. Let's move on. Soon we're going to have our guest from the G7th Capo, Nick Campling, is waiting, and now we're going to change the key, so we're going to play this in A. So 2, 3, 4. Take it home now. All right. How's it going? Hello, Mr. Nilsson. Welcome. Happy Monday, Raphael. Nice to see you here. All right. I guess you're hearing this little sound in the background, and this is the moment we're bringing in our special guest for today. That's a person that I've known for quite many years. We've hung out on many music fairs, trade shows, everywhere. So let me present you now, live on this live stream, Mr. Nick Campling from G7th.
Hello, everybody. Hi, it's good to see you.
Yeah, great to see you
Yeah,
too.
these trade shows. How many years ago did we first meet? With Michael was there. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was good.
definitely. Yeah,
Frankfurt, I
yeah.
think.
Yes, exactly. Frankfurt Musikmesse. And
That would be the one.
actually, that's why I'm wearing this T-shirt with Sandén guitars on, because most of the people watching this know that I play Sandén guitars of several models and all that. But I've been working with Michael since 1996 officially, but I met him in 1991. So I've known him longer than I've known you. But it's like you and I really go way back. It's a fact. That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's starting to show.
Don't think about it. All right. First, I'm gonna just tell a little story about how I used to talk to some of my friends who are jazz players, and they have never heard of a capo or capo, as you guys say it. And I know that Doc Watson used to call it a cheater when he was playing. I said, let me just put this cheater on, then we go on. So it was amazing. So I just wanted to ask you, as someone who's invented the G7th as an engineer, but you're also a musician with your background. So tell us about the backstory, how you're playing, and then how did you get involved in designing a capo?
Okay, well, I started playing guitar when I was 15, 16, something like that. John Pierce's Hold Down a Chord. And but that, I mean, that I was never and never will be up to your level, sir. But I enjoyed it, and I love playing guitar. I've got a few guitars, and then my career, I became an engineer, and after quite a long time working on all kinds of things from shoemaking machinery to bread making machinery and chocolate processing machinery. That was a good job. Um, and then I started my own engineering consultancy, and I realized one day that most of my clients were probably wealthier than I was. So I thought to myself, Nick, you need to design a product. And I looked at my left hand when I was playing my guitar one day, and there was a capo that I won't mention, and I just thought, well, it's a long time since anybody designed one of those. We'll try that as an exercise. We'll put the guys onto designing this thing and see as a project, and yeah, it worked out really well. And the rest is history. Yeah, the first G7th Capo came from that in about 2004, and
Yeah.
I'm guessing we met around 2005 or six.
Yeah, exactly. It was quite fresh as a product, and I know you were excited to show it to everybody around, and you were still like coming on into the market, which was
Yeah,
dominated by other brands, and it was like a underdog thing in the first couple of years, I guess. But later on, you just took it over. I mean, you've been declared as the best capo in several years in a row, right?
I hesitate to say yes.
Yes, of course you did. Brag about it. You're worth it. It's great. And I was always, I'm a nerd. I'm a geek. I love new stuff and I love new toys and all that. But usually I get excited about a toy, I use it, and then I leave it. And then the new shiny thing comes, and then I go over to that. Right. But with three things, my guitars, the accessories, I kind of stick to something that I really love from the beginning. And ever since you gave me this kind of one of the first models, to try it out and all that, and give it some feedback, I was hooked. That's it. Yeah,
Good.
that was amazing. Yeah. So we're going to be showing some images of the capos. Basically, the main model that I'm also using, the art model, which is very special. So please tell us about why the art model is special compared to the rest of them.
Yeah. Well, it's it's a performance capo, same as, oops, everything goes the wrong way.
Yeah.
So it's the same as the first one you had, in as much as
Yeah.
it uses this clutch system. But the reason for ART, which stands for Adaptive Radius Technology Marketing, means that because the fingerboard on a guitar has a curve on it, capos can pull guitars out of tune, because if the curve is large, is kind of sharp, then the strings get pulled down in the middle and they go sharp before the outer strings, the two E's, get pulled down to the fret. And the same is the other way around. If the curve on the capo's quite sharp, but the fingerboard is flat, the outside ones go sharp and the middle ones get left flat. But this one, we have a system which curves to suit the fingerboard. So there's a little selection of cams. So sort of mechanism here. There's only part of it there, but I've got my desk is covered in little bits of things.
You're an engineer, I know.
Yeah. So I've come up with this system which, as I press in the middle, it pushes the rubber down on the outsides, and as you press on the outside, it presses down in the middle. So until it's even, you get even pressure, it'll move to suit. So that's what ART is all about.
Yeah,
And I don't think anybody had done that before.
Nope. I've tested and I've tried to adjust this rubber band that's coming on the strings on several other capos, that I can maybe decrease the pressure on the basses and the treble strings so that it be more even. But as soon as you change the guitar with another radius of the neck, you have to do it again. You have to buy 5 other capos. No. So I love the ART model. So let's just show this image. This is the first image that you got there, so people can see how it sits on the guitar neck, right?
Yeah.
And
so all you're doing is
that's
squeeze.
Yeah. Exactly. Tell us about them. Like this one I'm showing. So just.
So this is the capo we've been talking about. It's chrome plated, so it's very hard wearing, and as I say, you simply squeeze it onto the neck. Hey, I've got a guitar here, but I'm all tangled up in wires. So if I can find here, I mean, you'll probably show this in a minute, but all I have to do is squeeze, and there we are, and then I can release.
Yeah.
So that's all the action that's needed. And that was the original idea. I was thinking, well, if you play a bar chord, you know how much pressure you have to apply to hold the strings down. So if I can come up with a capo that does the same thing, you just squeeze it, then it'll be very intuitive.
Exactly. So this is the same model, but it's just gold plated.
Shiny.
Yeah. What else do we got? We got the black one.
Yeah.
That's mine. Yeah.
That's yours.
Yeah. Great. So what do we got more? I think we have this one.
Okay.
It's another model.
Yep. So that's our Newport model, which is a sort of over-center latch system. So it goes, so that's closed, open.
Yep.
And that's the one where we have lots of different models. So we have shortcut capos. We have a 12-string model, which is this one here, which has got a compensated string pad. I don't know whether you'll be able to see that, but that's been very popular with 12-string players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So a slight delay and things moving in the opposite direction makes this very interesting.
Yeah. It bugs me all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have lots of different models in that one. And then this is the Nashville capo, which is a simple squeeze and place onto the neck. Very easy to use, but less control.
Yeah, of course. And in the end, you're still dependent on that mechanism of if it's going to hold for many years, but usually they do, so it's not, but you can always adjust the pressure. But what's important for me, and I usually, when I had other capos before I got this one, the art, or any of the earlier capos that you guys made, it's when you squeeze it and put it there, it's not going back, it's not releasing that pressure until you release it up there in the clutch, right? So that's so reliable. You know that, okay, I've got this sound now, I can prepare another guitar with the capo on, just kind of maybe still retune it and just make sure everything is okay, and then it's going to stay. It's not a screw. Usually, I mean, screws can, I don't know, worn out after a couple of years on the capos and all that. So I don't know, this is a system that I really like very, very much. So I got another question for you that came from Milovan, who is now here on the stream. He said,
Hi, Milovan.
Yeah, so many people sing covers on YouTube in the original key and chords, which doesn't always give good performance. And that key may not suit anyone or everyone. Usually YouTube instructions are in the original key as well. And that's where the capo can come into use, because you can adapt that key to your own voice if you want to sing it, but you will still be in the same chord.
Yes.
So there's a caveat, a little bit, a small one, that maybe if it's too high, then you need to move or too low, maybe you need to move the capo up to 7th, 8th, 9th fret, but that can also be done with quite good results. So I'm happy with that. But basically that's what I'm going to be talking a little bit about after we talk now, how I use the capo and what's my intention with it, because I'm not just raising the pitch of the same chord. I'm also using the capo to be creative when I play with other people, to play in the same key, but in another chord shape. That was a revelation for me when I discovered the capos from the beginning, right? And there's also one... Yeah,
sorry, I was just going to say, those are the two reasons. Either you need to raise or lower the key so that it suits your voice, or you're playing with other people and you want to use different chord shapes, different inversions, so you get you don't get two guitars just playing the same thing. You get two guitars playing differently. Even if you're both strumming, you have somebody playing an E shape and somebody's playing a D shape, you get a different
or C shape. Yeah, I'll be showing that. But there's another thing that I discovered also when it comes to capos, and I waited for this moment to tell you this. So I use it also if I, have a guitar to play on that has a very high string action on the first couple of frets. So just put the capo on the first fret, tune it to the regular tuning, to the tuning machine, and then just have the capo, which lowers the action on the first strings, and it's much more comfortable to play. And sometimes it's because of the guitar neck, sometimes it's because the string action is just too high or whatever. So that's also one of the uses for the capo that I found out. And then sometimes I take another capo and put it higher up on the neck while I'm doing the gig. So all I need to think is that, okay, wait, everything is half step higher. So just visually I need to think about that. But otherwise, it's a great thing. Yeah. There's a little place in your heart and in the company for Noel Sheehan, right?
Oh yeah,
who's also with you guys, and you got your son in the company. So tell us about the humans behind the heavy metal product.
Well, I kind of kicked it off by coming up with the idea for the design, and then Noel was at that time running a store in Leicester, which is sort of 40 miles away from where I live, but it was my favourite store. And I took my prototypes to see Noel a few times, and he would send me away and say, no, you need to make it better. and
Okay.
I would go away and work some more and make it a bit better and go back again, and then finally I invited him to become a director of the company with me and take care of the commercial side of things, which is what he still does.
That's
And
great.
we have Simon, my son, as you say, Ian Wilson, who has worked for Loudon and Avalon, and he worked for Fishman for many years. He's very well known in the music industry, so we're
Yeah.
very well served in terms of our commercial side. But then there's Tommy Luce. Have you met Tommy?
Yes, I've met him online a couple of weeks ago.
Great.
So he's just connecting to all the artists who play
Yeah.
G7th Capos, and we had a nice chat, and we're thinking of some smart things we could maybe do together. It's great.
Good. Because Tommy's great.
Yeah,
Tommy is sort of heart and soul of things, because he is talking to artists and guitar players all the time,
yeah,
which is wonderful.
yeah. And he's obviously a very accomplished player himself.
Oh yes, he's
Yeah,
very good.
yeah, yeah. Because he never bragged about it while we were talking, but then I looked him up a little bit on YouTube and said, "Oh, okay, now I got it. The less you talk, the more you do." Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I met Noel at the music fair in Frankfurt, definitely, and I also played on Sheehan's show in
Oh
Leicester.
yes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Acoustic
there's
Avalon.
exactly. That was a great show. Very, very nice place and a great audience. There's even a YouTube video of me playing there. Somebody just filmed it, and it was great. Yeah. So
Yeah, we
what's
missed that.
yeah. Yeah, we do, definitely. And we haven't been to Frankfurt for several years now because, yeah, different reasons, whatever. So we'll see what happens in the future. But that's my last question to you. What's the future of G7th? Because you've been kind of developing new features, making new models. Do you have something in the pipeline that you can maybe just, reveal for us?
Nothing very much that I can tell you. My
I was
my
hoping for
desk.
that. Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah. You were hoping for a secret. Um,
Yeah.
my desk, as I say, is covered with pieces of capos and stuff. But it's more to do with. I tell you that the capo that you didn't actually show is the heritage capo,
All right.
which is more of a traditional sort of Elliott style capo, but yoke style capo. But that
Yeah,
also has the ART system in.
that's it.
And you can find them all on our website. Let's not do too much advertising on your show. They're all there,
Oh, definitely.
easy to
You're
find.
more than welcome. You're more than welcome to advertise everything. And I even have this nice comment.
We do engraving as well on the
Oh,
website.
yeah.
You can get your name on or a nice Celtic. I'm really
Yeah,
struggling with getting in the right direction. Yeah.
yeah. That's great. That's right. So I'll drop the links, and there'll be some more information about everything we mentioned today in the video description. So I do some things in advance, and then after the stream, I'll just go in and put in all the links so people who come and watch afterwards the replay, they can do that. So let's see. This looks like a question. I've got an A-string guitar with the two middle strings are double with the capo for the 12 string. Would the capo for the 12 string be suitable?
Very likely. It probably will. So if I hold this up, you can see just about there, there's that compensation, the teeth. So your D string and G string, if they're octave strings, should be good. If they're unison strings, you don't need the compensation.
Good. So there's a little praising here as well. Enjoy this. Jonas.
Thanks,
He's had the
Jonas.
G7. Yeah,
Thank you very much, sir.
right. Yeah, yeah. That's great. So let's see. Yeah, we covered all the questions. Thank you so much, guys, for getting involved. And is there anything else you'd like to tell us about the capos, and how are you spending time now when it's pandemic, and how are you guys doing the regular stuff? Are you meeting?
We mostly work from home. Tommy and Simon, my son, they work in the office either side of me, but they only come in a couple of days or so. It depends what has to be done. But yeah, I got COVID over Christmas, and
Oh, sorry
no
to hear
fun.
that.
No fun.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming. And
My
it's been
pleasure,
a
Mac. My pleasure.
Yeah, and we really need to catch up in real life. Maybe we'll meet
Yes.
in the UK when I'm there during the Blues Week. I still don't know where it's going to be held. I'm sorry, I can't tell you that.
It's somewhere. I looked it up. It's near Oxford somewhere, so it's a fair distance from here. But
Okay.
if you're over and you want to come and stay, you'd be very welcome.
Thank you. That's great to know. All right. So say hello to everybody at the company, family,
I will.
and friends, and thank you so much for coming again. All right. See you, Nick.
Cheers, Mac.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much to Nick Campling. Now, I've got new strings on the guitar. You've heard about that in the beginning. This sounds good in E. So, this guitar has a 0 fret, which is visible here, which means all the strings, there's no traditional nut on Sandén guitars. On a traditional nut, there are 2 risks for things to happen. One is that the strings are a little bit off in order to where they are loose and then just go over the neck. So that's the first problem with intonation. And then there's also one more advantage of having a 0 fret. It's metal, the string, resting on the metal and giving this sound, let's say open strings. And that volume is maintained even if you grab the bare chords. I'm not telling anything bad about other guitars that have these nuts, but this is also something that makes it easier to use the capo. So when I take this one and I just put it on, let's say, 4th fret and press it down like this, I usually press too much, but let's see what happened here. It's perfectly in tune. With other capos, I would need to at least adjust the G string, the 3rd one, and the bass definitely. And I was really scared about if this is going to work or not, because just a little bit of more pressure applied to the capo and it's not going to be perfect. So you need to be careful how much you press, but I just, I was lucky enough to do it well, and I see it's a little bit off to the side, so let's make it totally straight. Let's see if it still holds. Amazing. Right, and then I take it off, and I'm back in E. This is a lifesaver. This is a lifesaver for jamming, lifesaver for playing live, definitely performing. It's a lifesaver anytime. So, another way that I use capo. This first one was, let's say, I was playing the chord of E, and I could play, let's say, right? With the capo on the 4th fret. I'm still playing in E, but I'm grabbing the C shape. I cannot demonstrate it together, sorry. But there's another way that I use the capo. So if I want to play something in open G tuning, but the key of G is not suitable for a song that I'm about to play. Let me show you this. So I was jamming with this musician colleague, and we used to play, let's say, either Statesboro Blues or some other stuff in G, and that was great. I usually play Statesboro Blues in G. Wake up, mama, turn your lamp down low. Right, that sounds good. Sorry. Right, so that would be the G open, and this is the main chord. Then we would jam deeper blues, let's say. And he'd played in G with the capo on the 3rd fret, so he's got this traditional E chord shape to play that song. And I would play like this, and the key didn't match my voice. It's like, let it rain, let it pour, let it rain a whole lot more. That's not good. That doesn't suit my voice. So I need to shout, and I can't be really creative in playing it that way. But if I take either another guitar, or if I just put the capo here on the 5th fret, then I'm actually in the key of C. Let it rain, let it pour, let it rain a whole lot more, 'cause I got 'em deep, river blue, and so on. And I'm ready, that's fine. But listen to this voicing. So this is with the capo. This got nothing to do with the capo, this is the guitar. This same chord, but on the guitar that's a little bit different. Now I don't have the strap for this one, but this is a very small guitar with a short neck, and this is how it sounds. The same chord that I played on this guitar. Which means that these strings are just regular light set for acoustic guitar. 12 to 52, but they're tuned up to the C. So the 3rd string is not G as in open regular tuning, standard tuning, it's C. So, and then I play the open G on top of that. So this is something I might address in some later streams, and maybe we'll go into explorations about, okay, what can be done in these situations. But I mean, to put the capo on this guitar and maybe raise the pitch to something else that may be suitable, that's where it's really getting crazy, right? We're on the mandolin side of the guitar playing, which is just fantastic, right? Good. So that was another way to use the capo. And then, as usually, just to switch between the different keys. Let's say if I would play on the 7th fret and play, let's say, this C shape. Mama, let me play with yo, yo, yo. I gonna let you play with mine. Mama, let me play with yo, yo, yo. 'Cause we like to take my time. When you might go east and you might go west, a bunch of crazy ways won't let me rest. Mama, let me play with yo, yo, yo. I gonna let you play with my I say, I gonna let you play with my. And so on. But the other guitar is playing G. so on. So that's an option to do things which are so different sonically. So this G chord is full of open strings, a lot of basses and everything, but the other guitar with the capo on the 7th fret really gives you this high pitch of the other guitar. And you actually just need to get to know your guitar neck in order to be creative. Like, okay, where do I have the G? If I play something in G and I'm used to grip, that's let's say a chord of D, then I'll put the capo on the 5th fret and play in the shape of D. And the other guitar can play just in G. So that's the first. Then there's also this classical, where I play E shape of the G chord, and the other guitar is playing the G without the capo. Those frequencies are quite narrow, quite close to each other, so you need to be creative when you play, let's say, double finger picking or something. That's a kind of tip of that for that. And then, of course, the 7th fret, and then the C shape. So which means with one capo you can play the same chord on, let's say, at least 3 more places on the guitar neck, just to get creative. And not to even start talking about playing compensated capos, shorter capos, which only put, when you put the capo on only several strings and combine different open tunings. I've never tried that. So I'm quite traditional when it comes to my stuff there. Right. Good. So we're done with that. Are there any questions? When in a recording studio, yeah, definitely. I'd agree with that. It's always good to check and always good to make sure that it's really good. Exactly. There are capos and there are capos. Okay, thank you so much. We're having fun here at the home studio with this, so you can see my guitars and my picking hands and gripping hands from closer than if I just had one big angle on the screen. Thank you. Kosho is actually one of my musician colleagues, a very, very distinguished colleague from Germany. He lives in Berlin now. He used to live in Mannheim and was a teacher at the university, and he is a very, very accomplished slide player. He's got those crazy sounds when he plays amplified. So I'm looking forward to have Kosho as a guest in some of the upcoming streams. It's going to be fun. All right. So we got that. Yes, Jonas. I can maybe demonstrate this. Let's see. Do I have a guitar that has higher action? I actually don't. But basically what I would do is, let's say, I would tune this guitar to half step lower than the regular tuning, and then I'll put the capo on the 1st fret here. So which means it will lower the action here between the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd string counted from the capo. So I don't, so let's say in this particular case, okay, this is a perfect guitar. It's a Sandén. It's well adjusted. I take care of it. It's kind of, I mean, everything is fine. This capo is not going to buzz, not if I don't hit the strings very, very hard with my right picking hand. But basically, I could achieve even lower action on the 1st fret by applying the capo. So that would be if you have a guitar that has a high string action on the first couple of frets, and that's usually the reason, or that's the. Why that happens is that the angle between the guitar neck and the body is not good. It can happen with old guitars, with guitars that been, you know, in the bad humidity areas, so the glue just kind of lets go here in the joint between the neck and the guitar body, so the neck goes a little bit forward, just a couple of degrees, and that's enough so that the action on the 12th fret here is very high, but that also affects the first fret, the action there. So if I at least lower it here with the help of the capo, then I can at least play some basic chords and all that. And then I wouldn't go into adventures of playing too high up on the neck, not just because it's difficult to press the strings, it's also because the intonation is not really good on those guitars. So, and the only medicine for that is doing the neck reset, or neck reset, yeah. That's it. So, time flies, guys. It's already almost an hour and we still haven't even played the lick of the week. So, if you ever have the chance, check the YouTube for Blues Stay Away From Me by Maria Stille and me. We usually play as a duo as Delmore Sessions. So we play some Delmore Brothers songs and really like that. Old-timey hillbilly country and blues. So in that particular song, let's say the Blues Stay Away From Me, I'm doing this slide introduction, which is very similar to what Sam Mitchell did, and that was mentioned in the last week's stream. He like used this lick, right? So a part of that I kind of stole into this introductory lick into Blues Stay Away From Me, because we could have started the song like 1, 2, 3, 4, blue. Stay away from me, right? No, but we went to that old-timey way of starting a song. So many blues songs started with a fifth chord, like a, let's say without the capo, without the slide. Then we go to the first, and then you start with the song. So the same pattern is what we used in this song. So while Maria is doing this, so I'm doing this. 2, 3, 4, blue, and so on. So what I'm doing here is that I'm picking the first string on the gliding part of going to the 4th fret and then go back to the 2nd fret. Or, so there are 2 pickings with the index finger here. Sometimes even. So what I also did here is this little trick. So I go a little bit and then kill the note here and then play the 2nd fret on the open 2nd string, 2nd fret. And there's damping behind all this, first behind the slide with lightly touching the 1st and 2nd and even 3rd string. Then I'm using a thumb here to dampen the 3rd string, and I do that because I don't need the thumb for any bass playing in this particular situation. So Maria is playing the chord behind it, so I'm just concentrating on making this as clean as possible. So that's the damping is first. So the thumb is dampening 2nd string here. That's ringing, and then I go to damping here. Still damping with my thumb here. And I just moved my fingers while I was gliding to this note. So it's dampening here behind the slide, it's dampening on the 3rd string, and I'm playing the 2nd string note, and the 1st string is dampened by this 3rd finger here, right? Middle finger. So you need to have this kind of spider attitude and way to pick the notes in order to make them really sound clean. And that was the lick of the week. Let me go just to... I'm not going to move this thing with Big Bill Broonzy for the next week because it's very short. So if you have the time, please stay for a couple more minutes. And because Big Bill is one of the most influential musicians when it comes to me and my playing, although he wasn't playing slide too much, or he didn't record anything with slide, I'm sure he could play it. So that's Nick. Let's go back to Big Bill Broonzy stuff. These are some licks that I learned from Big Bill Broonzy, who was a fantastic guitar player and amazing singer at the same time. If you look him up on Spotify or Apple Music, you'll find zillions of songs he recorded over the years. His career spanned from the late 20s to the late 50s, when he passed away in 1958. He used to play as a solo musician. He played with piano players. He was accompanying some very well-known singers of that time. And one of the most important things with him was that he played this heavy thumb-based pumping rhythm when it comes to finger picking. Let me just show you a couple of images of him. So he played different guitars over the years. This is a very old photo from the 30s. Yeah. And if you just pay attention on where he's, how he's placing his thumb when he's playing on this image, and also on, no, not this one, sorry, on that one. His thumb is attacking the strings from the side. So he's using the flesh of his side of the thumb, and that's why he's getting so smooth and so pumpy rhythm. At the same time, he's also dampening a lot. So that's the first thing that I've learned, and that gave me some amazing tips about how to accompany myself and how to accompany others. And definitely when I play slide, if I play this the way he played, with this very, there's no angle here. So if he'd play with the thumb, it'd be like this. And it's actually really good that I have new strings on the guitar now, because that really is obvious. So, right? But this way, although my nail is quite long here on the thumb, I can still play flashy basses, right? So what Bill Broonzy did, let's say in the C shape, so you could play this. This was a revelation for me. So I've used that a lot when I was playing myself, and also to get away from this that's nice, it's okay, but there's not so much music in it, and there's no punch. And definitely I might play a couple of lines in a song by just opening all the strings like that, but these basses. And one more thing that this gives you also is this opportunity to hide behind those heavy basses, but then go over the neck, because if you're playing in C, you're losing that chord shape as soon as you go. Then I can go back to the chord, or so on. So that's Big Bill. That's why I have him as artist in focus, because he didn't influence only my finger picking and the way I play the rhythmic stuff. It's also when it comes to treat the bass strings while I'm playing slide. Sometimes I might just play a open string, sometimes I might just dampen it like this, and that's amazing. So if you have the chance, listen to Big Bill Broonzy. He's amazing. Guitar backups. Let me finish off this evening's stream. It's 10 p.m. here in Sweden. I'm going to play you a song that Big Bill Broonzy made very famous, and a lot of people think that he composed it, but he didn't. Key to the Highway. It's a song, whoever plays electric guitar, like Eric Clapton, Derek and the Dominos, and maybe some other bands, they played Key to the Highway in this electric version. Some people stated Big Bill Broonzy as a composer, although they were his peers. Let's say Sonny Terry Brown and Mickey. I have an old LP where they say, we're going to play a song by one of the finest writers that I've known, Big Bill Broonzy, Key to the Highway. Nope. Actually, it was Jazz Gillum who wrote this song. And Jazz Gillum was a harmonica player, basically of same age as Big Bill Broonzy, and they played together a lot. So, I don't know, but Jazz Gillum is credited with Key to the Highway. And this song has this backwards, let's say it's called 8-bar blues, so we don't change from E to A, as in a regular blues, 12-bar blues. We go back to B first, and then go to A. So it's gonna be, let me just play for it, right? So this is the last backup session for this evening. Play with me. I got the key to the highway, back to A. Built out, about to go. I'm gonna leave the place running. Car walking most too slow. All right, now just a play. All right. I hope that was fun, as much as it was for me here. So I'm inviting you to come next week as well. You're more than welcome. Yeah. Right. We love that 8-bar blues. Of course we do. It's one of my favorites. So, and there's the attitude of playing this 8-bar blues is also something you can play it rockier. As I've tried to play a little bit differently in each round of this. So if you want to play a bit rocky, then you use these shapes, shuffle shapes. Right. If we're more influenced, let's say, by Brownie McGee and even Big Bill Broonzy himself, then I love these heavy chords where you can have this dampening bass. So I'm not doing the shuffle, but the thumb is doing this. So thumb is, no matter what, always doing 1, 2, 3, 4, because that's the bass drum, right? That's keeping the rhythm going. And then you can play sparingly, or you can do, or just keep it. And so on. So there are different ways to play this 8-bar blues, and that's so beautiful about this pattern. Definitely. All right. So I hope to see you next week. We have a little outro here, just to remind everybody to maybe, I wasn't nagging about this too much. If you still haven't subscribed to this channel, please do that, because it's going to drive more traffic to us and more people can listen to this and enjoy it. And the replays are going really fine. The first one had almost 400 views, so I'm really thrilled with that. I just want to spread the news and knowledge about slide guitar, and I want more people to play slide. That's fun. Good. So that's us. And, well, bye-bye, folks. Thanks so much for coming. I hope to see you next week. And hit me up on Twitter. It's just at Homesick Mac. Or send me an email from my website. So you're more than welcome to do that. Thank you for hanging out with me. It's been more than an hour. Thank you for your time. Lovely. Then I'll see you next week. All the best.
It was in spring, one sunny day, my sweetheart left me, thought she went away. Now she's gone, and I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top of the world. Things could call me up, down and out by soul. Said, come back, Daddy, Lord, I need you so. Now she's gone, and I don't worry, 'cause I'm sitting on top of the world. Like my peaches, don't you shake my tree. Get out of my orchard, let my peaches be. Now she's gone, I don't worry, But I'm sitting on top of the world. Spring, one sunny day, my sweetheart left me. Now she went away. Now she's gone. I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top of the world. Now she's gone. I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top